Tonight, an 8-year-old boy is left traumatised after being sexually assaulted in a Highland campsite as his parents slept in the next tent. Police say the boy's father saw the suspect walk away.
The incident will be very upsetting and worrying for people living in the community as well as people visiting the area.
Also making the headlines, as talks continue to save 400 jobs at Alexander Dennis, the bus manufacturer puts one of its 2 factory sites in Falkirk up for sale.
In sport, ahead of the new league season, Brendan Rodgers has a clear message on his Celtic future.
I'm not the type of manager that's good maintaining anything. If it's just something to maintain, I'm not the manager for Celtic.
And the Edinburgh Tattoo marks a milestone as the city's international festival gets underway.
I'll be at the heart of the action with the weekend forecast and a look ahead to Storm Floris next week.
I'm John Mackay. This is the STV News at 6. Good evening. Police say the father of a young boy who was sexually assaulted at a campsite in the Highlands saw the attacker walk away from his son's tent. Detectives say the 8-year-old had been left traumatised and upset after what happened in the early hours of Thursday at the Loch Ness Bay campsite near Drumnadrochit. Our chief reporter Sharon Frew has the latest.
It's an established campsite within 15 minutes walk of Loch Ness. Police have been quick to reassure those living and holidaying in this area that sexual assaults of this nature are very rare, but they acknowledge what took place here will be extremely upsetting and worrying.
Hugely traumatising on the child, hugely traumatising on the family.
And we would ask that anyone with any concerns does make contact with us. And we do have additional patrols in the Drumnadrochit area.
At a press conference in Inverness, detectives confirmed a significant investigation is underway to find the man who preyed on an 8-year-old while the child was camping with his family. The sexual assault is believed to have happened between 20 past midnight and 1 a.m. yesterday.
The boy was asleep in his tent and his parents were asleep in the tent next to him. Between the times, a male that's not known to the family at all has entered the tent and has committed the assault. The father has then overheard the incident, come out and noticed the man leaving and become aware of the incident.
The suspect has been described as a bald man, aged between 35 and 50. He's about 5'10" tall. It's not known if the man was staying at the campsite, but police have not ruled out this possibility.
We've got a team of specialist officers working with the family and have been since the report came in. We're providing all the support to them as much as we can. The team have been speaking to people who've been staying on the campsite. The campsite is open, but we do remain in that area, and we will be in and out of the campsite over the coming days.
Officers are reviewing CCTV footage from the campsite's cameras, but people in the area, including drivers with dashcam footage, are also being urged to come forward to help with any information that could piece together vital evidence. Sharon Frew, STV News.
Alexander Dennis has put one of its 2 factory sites in Falkirk up for sale. In June, the bus manufacturer first threatened to end its operations in Scotland by closing its sites in Larbert and Falkirk amid plans to centralise its operations in North Yorkshire. It comes despite the historic Scottish bus firm entering into talks to try to save the 400 jobs that are on the line. Well, Caitlin Hutchison is in Falkirk for us. Caitlin, has this come as a surprise?
Well, only a few days ago, the Scottish Government confirmed that it was working on a potential rescue deal with talks that it thought could save jobs here in Falkirk. But today it's emerged that Alexander Dennis has quietly listed this 15-acre Camelon factory for sale, advertised as a prime housing and development opportunity with space for up to 174 homes. Now, a consultation on the closure isn't due to expire for another 2 weeks, but with this place on the market, fears are growing that time could already be up.
Caitlin, what's been the reaction from union leaders?
Well, Unite the Union has described the potential closures here in Scotland as catastrophic for the local economy, and we're already seeing the knock-on effects of that. Supplier Greenfold Systems in Fife went into administration after losing a major contract with Alexander Dennis. That's another 81 jobs gone. However, the firm insists that this site being on sale doesn't represent a foregone conclusion and says that it's still engaging with both governments in good faith, something that the Deputy First Minister Kate Forbes has echoed today. She says that work is continuing to secure jobs and grow Scotland's role in the future electric bus market. But despite all that, for people here on the ground, workers and workers' family, it's an extremely concerning time indeed. John.
Indeed. Caitlin Falkirk, thank you. Finance lenders have avoided potentially having to pay compensation to millions of drivers after a ruling from the UK's most senior judges. The Supreme Court has said they are not liable for hidden commission payments worth billions in car finance schemes. Well, political correspondent Ewan Petrie was watching the judgment. So, Ewan, what does this decision mean for car owners?
Well, it's a big disappointment for car owners and a big win for the banks. It could potentially have had huge consequences for both lenders and motorists, because what all this centres on is, were customers given enough information about the commission paid to dealers when they bought their car on a finance deal? Now, last autumn, the Court of Appeal said that it was illegal for car owners to be paid that commission without the knowledge or consent of buyers. The industry challenged that, arguing that it had done nothing wrong. And today, the Supreme Court agreed with them. It overturned that decision from the Court of Appeal.
The court mistakenly treated the dealer as acting solely in the interests of the customer once the customer had chosen a car and agreed a price. The Court of Appeal also attached significant weight to findings that the customers trusted the dealers and were in a somewhat vulnerable position. That was the wrong approach.
So, Ewan, who might be available for eligible, should I say, for compensation now?
Well, thousands of car owners were already in line for compensation for a very specific type of commission that was banned back in 2021. So this decision largely limits any payments to them, and the Financial Conduct Authority will announce whether it's going to launch a redress scheme for them in the next 6 weeks or so. But it could have had a huge impact across the wider economy, not just in car lending. And there were suggestions that the Chancellor might even have had to step in. And tonight the Treasury has said it's already working to reform the system. Now, this decision today was put off until after the markets had closed. So that gives everyone involved in the outcome the entire weekend to work out exactly what this might mean for them.
Ewan, thank you. A man has been charged 21 years after 2 violent sex attacks in Glasgow. In September 2003, a man in his 20s was sexually assaulted by 3 men in a park near the River Kelvin. 2 hours later, and on the same night, another man was also sexually assaulted by 3 men. Police say a 56-year-old man has now been arrested and charged. A fatal accident inquiry is to look into the drowning of a boy from Glasgow. Caden Walker from Bridgeton died after becoming separated from his board during a water sports session on the River Tay in 2019. Outdoor Pursuit Scotland was fined £10,000 for health and safety failings, which led to the 12-year-old's death. Summer strike action by workers at Glasgow Airport has been called off. Unite the Union say members have backed a 2-year pay offer deal, which includes a 4% increase this year, alongside a one-off payment of £500. One of Glasgow's best-known murals is about to vanish due to construction works. The famous painting of Scottish comedian Billy Connolly, a key feature on Glasgow's mural trail, will be covered by student accommodation to be built on the corner of Osborne Street. Our reporter Raheem Cham tells us more.
It pays homage to one of Glasgow's most famous sons, but it could soon be gone forever. The 50-foot mural of the Big Yin himself, Billy Connolly, a local landmark by artist John Byrne, is about to be covered by an 11-storey block of student flats.
But the council and the government can't seem to do that for everybody else in a housing crisis. So there's already bad feelings about that. So if you cover him up as well, that'll be Armageddon, mate.
I'm not that big a Billy Connolly fan, to be honest.
So you don't mind him disappearing?
I don't mind.
I love art, so yeah, it's beautiful, it should stay.
Don't care. Sorry.
Glasgow City Council approved the 288-flat development by Nova Osborne Limited back in 2023, despite objections.
We objected primarily on the basis of student accommodation because we have been seeking a moratorium on student accommodation in the Merchant City in Trongate for the last 3 or 4 years. And in addition to that, obviously the mural was another reason for saying that this is a very popular tourist spot and a popular spot for the locals, and that's a mural that we would prefer not to lose.
The iconic mugshot-style portrait on Osborne Street is a standout of Glasgow's mural trail. Commissioned in 2017 for the comic's 75th birthday, it's a favourite amongst tour guides and a key fixture in Glasgow's vibrant art scene.
So you get 2 different types of commissioned street art. There are public commissions and private commissions.
Gabriel is one of those guides. He leads street art tours across the city, showcasing over 30 different paintings.
There's a lot of people come to Glasgow to see the street art. So Glasgow has this reputation for being a place where there's very unique, exciting street art. It reflects aspects of the local culture and mythology and history. So people are very interested in coming and seeing it. So I don't think it'll affect business because there's so much street art in Glasgow, but it will be a shame because it is, you know, one of my favourite ones, one of the most popular ones, will be covered up.
Osborne Street's Big Yin may be fading from view, but fear not, Billy still reigns large in Gallowgate, and he's reaching for the skies by the Clyde. Raheem Cham, STV News, Glasgow.
Time now for the sport, and Rahman is at Celtic Park ahead of the new league season.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
A very good evening from Celtic Park. 68 days since the previous league campaign came to an end. The new one begins tonight. That's in the Championship here at Celtic Park on Sunday. The Celtic players will walk out of the tunnel to begin the defence of the Premiership trophy, targeting their 5th successive league title. And ahead of the new campaign, Brendan Rodgers had a clear message on his future. He says he won't extend his stay as Celtic manager beyond his current contract unless his ambitions are matched. Over at Rangers, after Mikey Moore completed his loan move from Spurs, Russell Martin has described the attacker as super talented, and Martin believes they can challenge for honours this season. And so it begins. The Scottish champions are preparing for Flag Day and the visit of St Mirren. Brendan Rodgers is targeting a 3rd successive title in his 2nd spell at Parkhead. He's in the final year of his contract. At his pre-match media conference, he was quizzed on whether he will stay beyond this.
Dermot and Michael and I had a conversation over the summer on where we were at and where it sits with myself and everything else. And I said, I'm very happy here. There's conditions we want in to be able to improve and be better, because I'm not the type of manager that's good maintaining anything. If it's just something to maintain, I'm not the manager for Celtic. It'll be someone else. But to build and grow and develop and push, then of course I love being at Celtic.
Given that you've said that, how important do you think this window is going to be in terms of the calibre of player that you bring in?
I think it's important this summer because of the needs of the team. The needs of the team is clear. We need to improve in the front end of the pitch. That's the attacking department is always and always will be the strengths of my teams. And I'm sure by the end of, as I said, the window that we will do. And of course, the quicker that can be, then the better.
Central defender Jemai Simpson-Pusey becomes Celtic's 8th summer addition after a deal was agreed with Manchester City on a season-long loan. Across the city, Rangers have signed Mikey Moore on a season-long loan from Spurs. While the attacker trained today, his move is still subject to international clearance.
It'll be good for us, it'll be good for Spurs, hopefully to help his development. It'll be good for Mikey. So I think it's a really good move for everyone, and I think he'll definitely add to us as a big option on the pitch in the forward line. He can play in a few positions, and he's a super talented boy. So yeah, we're excited to have him.
Russell Martin has confirmed Ridvan Yilmaz is set to leave the club as the Rangers boss continues to rebuild the squad. And ahead of the Premiership opener against Motherwell, Martin has high hopes for the season.
I think we have a squad that can compete now. We certainly have a starting team that can compete, and a few around that. We just need a bit more depth in some key areas and a few people that can help us. But I think we're really happy where the squad's going. There's a lot of change, which is not always easy. We'll see how happy we are in a 4 weeks' time, but I'm really confident by then we'll be really confident with what we've got and comfortable with what we've got, that we can really compete.
And some news just in from Rangers. Ross McCormack has moved to Aris Limassol on loan, and the deal has a conditional obligation to buy. OK, let's now focus on the capital clubs. And Hibs defender Warren O'Hara says the players have no time to feel sorry for themselves after their agonising Europa League exit last night. Hibs begin their Premiership campaign away to Dundee this weekend. At Hearts, new boss Derek McInnes says returning to Europe is the big aim at Tynecastle. Here's Jamie Borthwick.
Breathtaking, heartbreaking. Hibs matched Mishland until the final minute of extra time before this stunning finish knocked them out of the Europa League.
We've no time to let our heads hang. We went toe to toe, 200 odd minutes with a team of very, very high level. So I don't think we have anything to be ashamed of, you know, and we have a lot of positives to take into Sunday.
Scotland defender Grant Hanley watched from the Easter Road stands last night. David Gray wouldn't be drawn on the potential signing of Hanley, instead focusing on picking his shattered players up for Sunday's Premiership opener at Dens Park.
It's difficult to just switch off and then just like, oh sorry, we'll just move on to the next one. So our job is to make sure we get around them, we rest, make sure the recovery's there, and the attention very quickly changes towards Dundee. The domestic stuff and how well we done last season, European is a reward. European ties is a reward for how well we've done. So we need to make sure we start the season well.
The summer of change at Tynecastle's seen a new management team appointed and 7 new recruits arrive, with more set to follow.
You know, we'd like to think that we can be searching and striving for European football and amongst those places, and try to get to Hampden and be 90 minutes away from lifting silverware. Beyond that, going forward, hopefully we can exceed those expectations, but for now we're not going to shout our mouths off, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. When the back of last season we never reached a final and we were in the bottom 6.
Hearts kick off at home to Aberdeen on Monday night, and after a goal-laden League Cup group stage, maintaining their newfound intensity under the new regime is the aim.
With the manager how he is and the coaching staff how they've been, there's no getting away from that in any game that we've played so far, so we can't be relaxed. We know the pressure on us.
Expectation is sky high at both Edinburgh clubs heading into the new campaign. Jamie Borthwick, STV Sport.
Well, the new Premiership season gets underway at Rugby Park tomorrow, where Kilmarnock host Livingston. Let's now hear from the rest of the top flight managers ahead of the big kick-off.
We're there to spoil the flag day. We're not there to make up numbers, and I'd like to think that Brendan knows we will come and we will have a real go and try and put them under pressure. But we know the task we face. We give them total respect. They're not champions for no reason.
We want to get back into the best part of the Scottish football, and obviously that's a line drawn after 33 rounds, and we hope to get on the fun part of that line. So that's if you want a result goal, that's it.
I think it's going to be incredibly tight. I think that it's going to be unbelievably competitive. I think we're going to see a different approach from a lot of clubs as well. That's my general feeling. I don't know, I'm just going around the country and probably looking at it, I'm not so sure it's going to be as physical.
You've kept 80% or 75% of your starting 11, which is it's really, really big for us. So I'm delighted there's real continuity in that, and I think that's big. I found that last year with a big change in the squad. It took us 2-3 months to really get up to speed and understand how we were trying to play the game.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. We're looking forward to it. We know
that we're not going to win as many games as we had in the last couple of years, and we'll need to be strong. You know, we'll need to be strong for that. We'll need to be realistic in that. Yeah, so be good to put our wits against, you know, all these top managers.
Defensively and offensively, that we know we have to do better. We're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes here. You know, this is a really new group. We have to learn quickly from the mistakes that we're making, and we have to get better. It's as simple as that.
I think people think that us managers can come in and change things immediately. We can't. It takes time, it takes process, it takes working on the training field relentlessly before you really start to see the signs. I've seen us moving in the direction, but we're nowhere near where we need to be.
I think when you have a pre-season, you have to be ready. You are as good as you are when you start the season, and then hopefully you can always develop and grow during the season. But we are ready for an exciting first league game now, away against Hearts, and to play in front of our away supporters and our supporters, the atmosphere, a competitive game. So it's a lot of positive things to look forward to, and of course we feel ready for this game.
Well, that is all the sport for me live from the home of the Scottish Premiership champions. Soon, the talking will stop and the action will begin. The new league season is back and about time too. Bye for now.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Summer Sale.
Well, from sport to entertainment, and it's Edinburgh Festival time. One of the hottest tickets this year is for the new play Make It Happen, starring the award-winning actor Brian Cox. The satire charts the rise and fall of the Royal Bank of Scotland and the global financial crisis of 2008. The Dundonian takes on the role of the economist Adam Smith as he returns to the Scottish stage for the first time in a decade.
I have such respect for these actors, and it just reminds me again how great the talent is in Scotland and how we don't get our just deserts, quite frankly. We don't get acknowledged for what we can do. I think this is a unique piece of work, and it's world class. The audiences are just, they love it, and they're surprised because they don't know what to expect.
And you can see that interview in full on tonight's What's on Scotland at 7. And if you're heading for the festival tonight or over the weekend, you might want to know what the weather will be like. Well, Sean has headed east. So Sean, what's it looking like?
Hang on a minute, John. I'm just making an entrance. Thanks for that, Sam. It's almost my Bridget Jones moment there. Now, Sam's one of the performers from Sophie's Surprise 29th, which is a performance that's taking place down at the Circus Hub just along the road over the next 3 weeks. Of course, the Fringe has started today, and you know the weather this weekend's actually looking pretty good for most of the country. A lot of blue skies tomorrow. It's going to be warm as well, so we've got the quiet weekend ahead. By jings, it is all changed next week. You'll know already we do have a storm on the way which has been named. I've been talking about it the last couple of days. We were just calling it a low pressure system, but it has now been named Storm Floris, which is going to come in on Monday and Tuesday and bring some very, very strong winds. But this weekend, as I say, the weather is looking lovely. There's going to be lots going on in Edinburgh over the next couple of weeks. Plenty of colour and plenty of fun as well. Let's have a look at the forecast.
Outbreaks of ancient sites will gradually settle into an evening of pizza plates al fresco. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Well, we'll get to the storm details in a wee second, but the weather quiet just now, and it's going to be like that through much of the weekend. We've got a lovely day to come for many of us tomorrow, especially if you're watching from a wee bit further east towards the likes of Falkirk and Fife. Now, overnight tonight, dry with clear spells. A little bit of a chill in the air. Temperatures likes of bigger South Lanarkshire down to lows of about 7 or 8 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, as I say, a lovely day to come, especially further east, where we'll hang on to blue skies through much of the day, and it's going to feel lovely and warm as well. 21, 22 degrees Celsius. The very, very far west, just seeing a wee bit more cloud coming in, and that heralds the arrival of some rain coming in tomorrow night, which will spread to all parts. But through the day, it's dry, sunny, and it is warm for most of us as well before that cloud starts to spread in. So very wet during tomorrow night. Now tomorrow we've got the Mid-Argyll show on, so hopefully staying dry, sunny and pleasant for that. And then on Sunday the Bridge of Allen Games. A few showers around for Sunday. That rain that comes through during tomorrow night, clearing away into sunshine, just a few scattered showers and still pleasant enough in the sunshine, 18 or 19. Then all the action comes Monday and Tuesday. Of course, the schools are on holiday just now. Couldn't come at a worse time. And also the trees in full leaf as well. Now this is where the low pressure system is moving. Storm Flores is going to drift their way towards the north of the country. Probably worst case scenario for us is the fact we will get a westerly for a time, which funnels its way through the central belt. Gusts of wind 50 to 60 miles per hour, maybe 70 in the more exposed parts, the likes of Coll and Tyree, parts over there in the Hebrides. So given the trees are in full leaf, there is a possibility of trees coming down, which could cause some disruption on the rails, ferry disruption, and also risk of trouble at some campsites too. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And finally, staying with the festival, and the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo is celebrating its return to the city, this time marking the show's 75th anniversary. This year, the theme is The Heroes Who Made Us, with hundreds of performers from around the world taking part. Our reporter Laura Piper has been to meet them.
Turning 75 in true military style, the Edinburgh Tattoo is marking a major milestone.
We're really excited, aren't we? It's the first time for all four of us as a family.
We have friends who play bagpipes.
When they march out of that castle, the tartan, the bagpipes, and I get emotional. So it's wonderful.
This year involves top international performers as well as local talent.
Be on quite a few times tonight, and it's great fun. Yeah, I think I really like it.
And you've got a bit of a special role. Talk us through it.
So at the very end, they think it's all done, and then I come in, but keep it secret.
We will, of course, keep the details of Daisy's performance a surprise as she prepares for her big night in front of the crowds.
Around 800 performers from all over the world are taking part this year before an audience of around 220,000 in the stands around us.
Highlights include performances from Sweden, America and Ukraine.
It's great to have the Ukrainians here. It's really important for them. They've not played outside of the country since the war began. We've got the fans' favourites, we've got that military music, we've got the traditional Scottish arts, but we also have an air of theatricality.
The event runs until the 23rd of August, with everyone welcome to join the party. Laura Piper, STV News, Edinburgh.
Laura Piper on the tattoo, good name. Well, that's all from the festival, of course. Cyclists with their biscuits, all the rest of it from all of us here. Good night.